I just didn't want like hard rules of gender to be in this world. I felt like, okay, I'm allowed to build this world the way that I want. So this is the way it's going to be. Yeah.
Welcome to Bitch Talk. I'm your host, Erin.
And I'm co-host Ange, aka Captain Party.
And for more than 11 years, the show has celebrated underrepresented voices in pop culture and beyond.
But not in the snore kind of way, which is why our listeners and followers have graciously voted us Best of the Bay, Best Podcast on 48 Hills for 3 years in a row. Three-peat, bitches.
If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram and check out our website, Bitch Talk Podcast, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're begging you to judge us. When does that ever happen? Oh, you're not going to say anything?
Oh, what'd I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, on with the show. Clink.
Hey, Bitch Talkers. This film, Odessa, just had its world premiere at South by Southwest. We're really excited to welcome back the director and writer of this film. His name's Geremy Jasper. We had him on years ago. For the film Patty Cakes, which we actually talk about a lot. If you haven't seen that film, put it on your list. It'll make you happy. You'll have some fun songs stuck in your head for forever. But we are so excited to welcome back Geremy Jasper to talk about Odessa, which is screening now on Hulu. So make sure you check it out. Let us know how you like it, and we'll see you soon. We are back with a guest that we had on, 7, 8 years ago. He's the writer, director of his latest film, Odessa. We're speaking with Geremy Jasper. Thanks so much for coming back to Bitch Talk, Geremy.
Happy to be here. It's been a while. Been a minute, as they like to say.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Can you do us a favor and let our audience know what Odessa is about?
Yeah, Odessa is a sort of surreal musical odyssey about a young woman who goes on an epic adventure.
Mm. Yeah, I grew up loving musicals, but I really feel like this film is a film that will make people love musicals even if they never did before. And it just really, I love how music-centered your films are in general. First of all, we had you on in, 2017 for Patty Cakes. Yeah. So I just love how the songs are really good. First of all, they're like actual songs that you would just listen to with or without the movie, but also they move the movie forward. They're not like, okay, now we're going to stop and sing. So can you talk about creating a musical that isn't a typical musical?
Yeah, I'm not really a musical guy. Like my mom's deep into musical theater and almost was a Broadway actress. She was like at this crossroads and decided, you know what, I'm going to have a family and live like a normal life in New Jersey instead of going down that road. But I was surrounded by musicals growing up, but it was never really my thing. I'm more of a rock guy, an album guy, a concept album guy. And so I like Bowie behind me. Like, David Bowie had all of these sort of concepts and characters and built worlds. And that's what I'm really interested in. And so because I didn't come up the conventional way of going to film school and doing that, I came through music. I came through songwriting. And my initial dream of Odessa was to do almost an opera, to do a rock opera, to use songs to tell a story that you've never really seen before, in a world you've never really seen before, that was mythological in some ways. Like the underpinning of it was sort of a classical hero's journey. We can all relate to it, but then use the songs and the music to tell the story, to dig into the characters, to dig into the mindsets, to dig into the strange adventure of it all. So it was a combination of many things that I loved, and kind of a collage of all of those things. So I love the older I got, the less I was interested in writing music from my perspective, and the more I got interested in writing music for characters, and what genre they would be into, how they played, how they sang, and all of those things I thought are super important. So
you bring us into a world that feels not too far off.
Yeah.
And I want to know where the story came from for you. And also, in conjunction with talking about the story, can you talk about the set design? It
Yes.
really draws you in.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, the initial impulse for the story was to tell an Orpheus in the underworld kind of story, but brought into a sci-fi retro-futuristic world of visuals that I've been working on for the last 20 years or so. So it has, elements of psychedelia, but it also feels like it can come out of the Dust Bowl. And like all of these things that I just love, that are always strange juxtapositions, that are not just like, oh, that's Blade Runner. That's that, like it's not a cyberpunk thing. It's not a steampunk thing. It's kind of its own thing. And so the initial concept was like, okay, let's tell this myth of Orpheus, who's like the greatest musician or almost has supernatural powers, but let's put her in this dystopian universe, but a dystopian universe that I hope we've never really quite seen before. And so then designing that and building this world was like one of the great joys of the film, and collaborating with Scott Dugan, who is the production designer. And just like the music and the characters that are a little bit from this place, a little bit that place, and sort of melded together, the production design has elements of like, brutalist architecture from Clockwork Orange with like the bodega on the corner in Brooklyn. How do you merge those things together? Like Weimar Germany with I don't know, like a shitty alley in New Jersey. So it was that brings me such happiness, is like melding or welding those kinds of different worlds together to create something new. And it was a lot of fun to be able to do it. It was hard, it was difficult, and that's why we had to like go and shoot in Croatia and find these strange, interesting architecture that we've never really seen before on film. And then we built a whole little city within the marketplace, and so there was a lot of work that went into making those things real.
Yeah, there is a lot of nostalgia and futuristic elements, like definitely genre bending in this film. And I remember when we had you on for Patty Cakes, we were also talking about classic rock and very like 70s style music. So Odessa, our star, plays acoustic guitar mostly, right? In this world of like flashing lights and auto tune, and she's our savior playing acoustic guitar. So that's also, reminiscent of our conversation prior, of this nostalgia that we have. So I'm wondering, does your hatred for autotune, does it stem from T-Pain or what? When did that happen?
I don't hate autotune. I'm a fan. I actually love using autotune.
Okay.
But it's just when you've got a big bad that is going to that's got to stand for the opposite of Odessa, who's like singing from the soul, like unprocessed, just a straight expression. You got to put some autotune on. And we had Murray singing, and Murray's a great performer, but he's not like a strong singer. So it seemed like putting a little autotune on there helped our cause.
It was so perfect. It was so good.
We love Murray. He's been on the show. He's
yes.
A long time ago, before White Lotus. Before the White Lotus boom.
He's such a gentleman. He's
really.
And she got to interview him, and she came back. She's like, "There's this guy, and he's amazing." And he looked me straight in the eyes, and he was perfect.
Beautiful man.
Yeah, I'm happy for his success. Speaking of casting, can we talk about the cast?
Sure,
Had no idea about Sadie Sink's voice. I want to purchase the album now. And I love. Oh, great. Okay, great. Timely. And also, well, let's talk about Sadie Sink and singing, and then I have one other question about casting. And characters.
Sadie, that was a miracle. I mean, I'd been working on this thing since 2018. Didn't know if there was an actor out there who could do it. It might have been like an uncastable role because Odessa needs to sing, emote, have like a sexual awakening, has to like break down, has to, it's like almost like an action adventure moments, like running, jumping, like it's very physical, it's very emotional, it's very, just taxing. And then have to be able to play guitar and sing on top. It just felt like, oh, maybe this is a step too far. And then I got lucky enough. I met with her, I Zoomed with her, but we didn't talk about Odessa because she was deep into Stranger Things, and I was like, okay, like she's amazing, but she's busy. She's doing that. She's doing like the Zeitgeist show. She's not going to come and do this weird thing, and it's not going to work out. She got her hands on the script. She got her hands on some music. And then she took it onto herself to record. She set up a camera. She recorded it in her phone, her playing and singing one of the tunes. Someone sent it to me, and it just blew my mind. It knocked me. I couldn't believe that this voice was coming out of this young woman. And she personified Odessa. Like she just lived inside of her. So then starting to make music with her was like an absolute joy. It was the opposite of Patty Cakes, actually, because when I did Patty, Danielle had never done anything musical before. She said she didn't have a musical bone in her body. She was scared to do and we worked with her for a year and a half to learn how to rap. This was the opposite. Sadie was the most natural musician I've ever worked with. She has perfect pitch. She can harmonize. Like she hears things that I don't hear. And she really like lives in the song and makes it feel like it's just spontaneously, kind of coming out of her, which is exactly what you want. You don't want it to feel like with some musicals, it just feels like now we're in a musical moment. And then you're like, it feels kind of pasted on. So yeah, she's a miracle. Yeah.
I would see her do acoustic sets like
Absolutely.
here in the city. I would be there in 1 minute. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and Regina Hall's character.
Yeah.
Thank you for that character and for just, there was a little Grace Jones in there, right?
Oh yeah, lots of Grace.
Okay. Please, can you talk about her character and how she personified it?
Yeah, it's interesting because that character was written initially, it was going to be a man, like a really like tough, butch, nasty dude, really toxic. And then it just started to morph, and I was like, I'm not really interested in like, I need a cool female role in here. And just like, just kind of flipping and playing with it. And a lot of Odessa is like based on just like classic Westerns. Like Odessa's like stranger in a strange land that comes into town and meets, the soiled dove that is Yuri and falls in love. And there's kind of the, boss in the town. And that's Dion. That's Neon Dion. And so or thinking, who's the most intimidating character that I can think of? And it was Grace Jones. I'm a huge Grace Jones fan. And it was just like, this would be her kind of role if it was like 1987. And we started kind of building it from there. And luckily, Regina, I don't know if we even talked about Grace Jones, but she read it and she got it. She was just like, I want to play a badass. I want to play someone that walks into a room and everybody is frightened of. I've never done it. And like, I'm really interested in transforming myself, transforming my voice, transforming my physicality, my walk, everything into like the most cold-blooded killer. And so she did. And she was, she's a hilarious person. And so then to see her kind of like switch modes into this other character, it was trippy. It was trippy because I still don't see them as the same person.
No.
It's like this other character showed up when we were shooting, and then like I would see Regina around later. Yeah.
Yeah, between her and Murray Bartlett, they make villains look real good. But it wasn't just with her character. Like, there are multiple characters that have this sort of gender fluidity.
Yeah.
And I just love, it's so important for us to see characters like this so beautifully portrayed on screen. Can you talk about why it was important for you to include this sort of gender fluidity throughout the film?
Yeah, it was, I just wanted to create a world that was more, you wanted to go into a world that didn't, the rules of our world didn't apply. And it was just much more freeing to me. Those are always the characters and the icons that I'm interested in. Ever since I was watching music videos as a little kid in the 80s, like singing the Eurythmics for the first time, or Boy George,
Boy George, yes.
Culture Club.
It's I don't know, it's just a part of expression and music and characters, and it's something that I don't see enough of, I guess. And so it came very, very naturally. It was not like a forced thing, and something that I just did intuitively, I think. And especially when you're dealing with musical characters, I think musicians tend to, or the ones that I really love, like, tend to be in that fluid area. You know what I mean? And I just didn't want, like hard rules of gender to be in this world. I felt like, okay, I'm allowed to build this world the way that I want. So this is the way it's going to be. Yeah.
Jeremy, we can't have like 7 to 8 years of a break with speaking with you.
Right.
The film is Odessa. We've been speaking with the director, writer, Geremy Jasper. Thank you so much for coming back on Bitch Talk. We talk about patty cakes probably at least monthly, so that film's really stuck with us.
And I still wear my shirt. I still wear my patty cake shirt.
Yeah, and thank you for introducing us to Bridget Everett. Then, like, seriously,
Oh,
I mean, look
God.
at her
Talk
now.
about
Somebody somewhere. I mean, all of it.
Incredible.
Yeah. We love you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really, keep doing what you're doing. We
I
love your
will.
art.
Thank
And
you.
come back on again.
I will. I so appreciate it, guys.
Thank you to our Denial is a River Bitch, Annie Tabora Gakula, for supporting this episode.
You can find more information about this episode in our show notes.
If you're missing us, you can visit us at bitchtalkpodcast.com to sign up for our newsletter and buy us a cup of coffee.
Did you know we're also on the radio? You can find us at bff.fm.
And lastly, rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All the cool bitches are doing it.
This podcast is a proud member of the BFF.FM podcast network. Learn more at podcasts.bff.fm.
BFF.FM, best frequencies forever.